Are we ready?
We're ready.
All right. Dad jeans. Dad jeans.
Cliff Lewis.
Ah.
Oh, that is nice. I'm gonna have to do this, right?
Because it's a whole new ballgame. Because we don't have those long
like this.
Yeah, and we have to stare at each other. What do you think? It does go up though, so you still can. There is fiddling to be done.
Oh, good. Whew, thank God.
There, so it can, like that. It telescopes upward.
Telescopes up.
And it has this little thing.
Goody.
But how about this though? We got the desktop microphone stands.
Can I put it up like here, so I'm like this?
Oh, for the Eat the Rich type of microphone setup?
No,
yeah,
or
totally.
like
Motorhead? Is that a Glenn Steadman or whatever his name was?
Yeah, Glenn Steadman
from Motorhead.
famous lead singer of Motorhead.
Lemmy.
The Motor Fellows. No, I think it's Glenn Steadman. I don't know.
Motor Gents.
Motor Gents. Motor Gents.
Eat the Rich.
Yeah, and Duckwind. Are we starting, or I'm trying to think of things to say today.
Oh, I understand. You don't want to make hot jazz with me, Jeff?
I love making hot jazz, but it's nice to have just like I just have to. I get no time to think in my daily life, so it's like just like the 2 minutes of preparation that I get to do before Dad Jeans is all the relaxation I get in my life, Brendan. So,
dear God,
just two meditative
maybe I
moments.
should hit pause.
Yeah, let's pause. I'm going to meditate. For just on some ideas.
Yeah,
I'm going to bat some things around the old cranium. And we're going to come back.
Jeff is pointing at his head.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if you knew what cranium was.
Right. And I don't.
Exactly. I know you too well, Brendan. Let's hold on this, and we will come back with fucking firing off bottle rockets out of the gate.
Holding for bottle rockets.
God. Oh, dude, is this another lost episode?
Oh my God!
How much of it did we lose? All of it?
Yeah.
You lost me being tiny. I don't even know is my voice picking up.
It is, yes.
Hello? Okay.
Hello. Yes.
So we got nothing?
Fuck's sake.
I am now going through this story again.
I can't believe that just happened. I just saw it flashing. I always see it flashing. You hit the pause button a second time to unpause it as opposed to the record button. That makes no sense.
Wait, can we just listen and see what we have?
Yeah. I think... I'm sorry. Has this been flashing this whole time?
I don't know. I didn't notice.
Okay. Fuck.
Mercury in retrograde.
It's really... dude, what a night. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Nothing's going right.
Nothing's going right.
I think we plow through.
I think we do.
We do our leisure class.
Yes. We can't retread it. It's lost. We've lost more stuff for Ryan, who we haven't even at this point talked about yet.
No, he doesn't.
In Chicago.
Yeah, he doesn't even exist.
Lakeshore
at
Drive.
This point.
Well, you know what? For the last half an hour, I've had a really lovely...
Are we recording now?
We are definitely recording now. Wait. Yes, the numbers are counting up.
Okay, can we just talk about what happened?
Oh, sure.
Are we ready for that?
Or
do we just need to move on? Do we need to see a counselor? Do we need to bring in that guy from Some Kind of Monster, the Metallica guy?
Where he was the band therapist?
Yeah. Do we need to bring that guy in?
Was it Reese Darby or whatever?
Yeah. No, I think Greek. Wait, what did you say? What was your name? Rhett Chesterton?
Oh,
who was the
Glenn Steadman?
Glenn Steadman. Yeah,
he was the lead singer of Motorhead, of course.
Right, exactly. Of Mosswood. So what happened, Brendan?
Yeah.
Is it?
You're asking? When I hit pause, then I hit record, and figuring you hit the record button and it unpauses. But no, you have to unpause the pause button instead, as if it's like a oldie timey 1970s latch bullshit thing or something.
So we lost.
We just lost like half an hour. 20 minutes.
That long?
15 minutes. We talked about you going to see The Who. We talked about John, who I know, who plucks bass for The Who.
That's right.
We talked about your connection and your brother-in-law's connection and how much I love your brother-in-law.
That's correct.
And then we talked about
your memory
Ryan, who is going to...
Yeah, we have a new listener.
We have a new listener who moved to Chicago and was thinking of moving back, but then we talked about the fact that Los Angeles has burst into flames and everyone's dead.
That's right. And everyone's been asking you, are you okay?
Yep.
And are you okay?
I'm okay. The headlines, as I said earlier, all say everyone in California is dead, but there are some of us left.
Yeah, but you know what? Can I say, like, in the middle of this, that, like, our friend Dorothy Fortenberry posted an interesting thing the other day where she's like, the entire state is in flames, and we're still just, like, going to IKEA and going about our daily business.
That's true.
And I think about that a lot. Just, like, that it is it feels far, but it's not. It's insanely close, and it could happen at any moment. We packed a to-go bag. We got a to-go bag.
Oh, really?
Because I thought...
because you were sort of in a zone of
We're
some
under
sort?
the mountains, and there was that like one night, they declared a red flag emergency. They were like, this has never been declared in the history of California.
Extreme urgent red flag, double secret probation.
Emergency.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but what? So what comes after extreme red flag emergency? Like, now we're at the point where there's never been this before. It'll get worse. Where like every summer, just like every place is going to be on fire.
Yeah,
all the time.
The United States will be wildfires and machine gun fire and screaming. Yeah, and sorrow and death.
Yeah,
and reality TV president. So the next president, I'm calling it now, is definitely going to be Kim Kardashian.
Oh, you know what? There are people who are talking about her running for governor.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Like that's a thing that they...
She will be president. It's happened. Like it's only the president is now the province of reality show stars.
I don't know. I will see. I mean, that will be actually a triumphant moment for women's rights. If an ignorant woman can become president, that will be. Maybe it's just it could just be ignorance. I could see actually the mom Kardashian.
Oh sure, I mean, Fanny Kardashian.
Yeah, Fanny
Sally Mae Kardashian. Fanny Freddie Mac Kardashian.
Yes, I think that's her name. Fanny Freddie Sally Mae Mac.
Or what if it was Caitlyn Jenner became president? She's a Republican though, but
sure,
that'd be interesting.
Where does she fit into things now?
She's around.
Is she part of the family? Is she in the show?
I think so. She's doing like photo shoots. I've never seen one frame of if there's a show, whatever the show is. Yeah, I don't know why those people still like keep popping up in places.
Yeah, I don't either. What are we keeping up with at this point?
I don't, I wish I knew.
Like, I guess they're just a family of attractive people. Is that essentially the entire thing?
Then they date famous men.
Sure. Well, I mean, Kanye, but who gives a shit about Lamar Odom? Like, who wants to watch that guy?
Yeah. Was he what was his deal? Was he
he was married to one of them, I think.
Media mogul or something like that?
He's one of those sports figures.
Oh, he's a sports figure, yes.
Mr. Sporto.
Mr. Sporto.
Yeah, so we lost a big chunk of discussion.
Yeah, we did.
But we're going to get back on track.
We're going to get back. And maybe that was our warm-up, and now we're warmed up.
Maybe. I don't know.
We talked about how Mr. Ed moved his lips when they shoved carrots up his ass.
Yeah, I don't buy it.
And then I talked about giving Oscar a suppository, and the fact that he was sick.
We could actually make up a blisteringly exciting conversation that we had.
Oh, we could. And then I confessed to you.
Yeah.
That
you
thing
are,
about my...
leaving America
espionage
to become the president of Ukraine.
Yes, they wrote me a letter.
I don't. I'm off the track. Let's do a segment. Let's do leisure class.
Oh, let's do leisure class.
Okay.
Let's discuss culture.
Yes.
Okay.
Come on, everybody. We're going to school. Now it's time to find out what Dad thinks is cool. It's leisure class. Dad Jeans Leisure Class.
And we're still recording.
Okay, good. So as we were saying, as I was saying, we have a new listener.
Yes.
A gentleman named Ryan Summers.
Hey, Ryan.
Probably on Whacker Drive right about now.
Yeah, or Lakeshore Drive.
Yeah, or Lakeshore Drive.
Or he's on his way to Kingston's Mines.
Could be going to Kingston Mines to listen to some blues.
Yeah.
Music. I don't know what he's up to.
Mm-hmm. That hot dog place where they yell at you.
Yeah, he could be at the Yelly Hot Dogs.
Or to find Sandman and Cabrini Green.
Right, it could be could happen. Apparently they tore down Cabrini Green projects.
Really?
They don't exist anymore. Yeah.
Oh,
so they say.
I'll be damned.
Could be going to Lounge.
What about the Robert Taylor
Lounge
homes?
Has been closed for 20 years. But
Laugh Jacks.
Yep. Probably going to Laugh Jacks.
Or he's going to see Too Much Light That Makes the Baby Go Blind.
Yeah, could be doing that.
Yeah.
That's a Chicago
or the
thing.
Armando
or
Diaz experience over at Improv Olympic.
One could be doing any of these things. So Armando Diaz. That's a real guy, right?
From what I understand.
Oh. Okay. I think he was my teacher.
Was he really?
I think so.
You don't say. He was a dude.
He was a UCB guy?
No, this was Improv Olympic in Chicago.
Right.
I went to a show there on Monday night at
big
IO.
Heavy dude?
What's that?
Big heavy dude?
He was not a part of it. Like, it was just like named after him, and they called it the Armando Diaz experience. Oh, and when I was there, you know how they have Second City has sketch reviews that have names like titles.
Yes.
The show that was on when I was in Chicago,
yes,
was Slaughterhouse 5, Cattle 0.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
Love it. Okay, but anyway, so we have this new listener in Chicago, which is very exciting. Hopefully he's listening to this because we're really going out to the map.
This is the official Ryan episode.
This is the episode dedicated to Ryan. But what was my point of all that?
Oh, I also have a new listener, Pineapple McGillicuddy.
Right, exactly. Yes.
Who is not a new listener.
Who we can't out him because the Angel Fire forums really get out of control.
This is so confusing if we're recapping our conversation because it's even more disjointed than our usual conversations.
I know it's terrible. We shouldn't even think about it. We should just move on.
Let's cut our losses
into leisure class. So I've got a couple of leisure class. Oh, the whole point of this is that we need to define who we are to our new listeners.
Oh, yeah,
and describe to them the segments.
Oh, okay.
Of which they haven't heard yet because last episode was segment free.
And it bears mentioning that we have a rabbinical approach to segments in that we each interpret them slightly differently and argue about their meaning.
No, we don't need to say that. That's not true.
That we meet at temple at 6 a.m. on Wednesdays to discuss our segments.
I don't think any of that is accurate, actually. I disagree with all of it.
You think that
if I saw you in temple, I would call the fucking Jewish police so quickly and be like, get him the fuck out of here.
I want to be a part of the debate.
Get this Southie out of here. No, what are you? You're a Westie,
Dorchester. Right? Westie? Oh, dear God. No.
Really? Is that where that's
where the preppies
hoi
live.
polloi?
Yeah, no. Oh, contraire. That's where
the hoi polloi is the lesser?
Yeah, the Westie is where the two-toilet Irish live.
Okay. Got it.
If you know what I mean.
I absolutely know exactly what you mean.
I'm from fucking Dorchester.
Yeah, there's no famine for those guys, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, they caught the boat.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so leisure class is the segment in which we discuss something of popular culture that we've been interested in.
Yes,
as of late,
indeed,
that has moved us.
Mm-hmm.
That has moved our bowels.
Yeah,
and yeah, there's a lot of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, sure enough.
A couple of things here.
Okay.
Number one, Halloween was just around the bend.
Yeah, horrible.
We just unbended it.
Yep.
The candy still remains.
Yeah, we're running the gauntlet of prison yard shankings that is American holidays.
Yeah. And that's the shankiest of them all as a parent.
Mm-hmm.
I think Halloween.
Yeah. Yep.
It's just a fucking feel my like the kids aren't like, where's my Thanksgiving present? Like Thanksgiving's fine. True. You don't need to worry about Thanksgiving.
Yeah, exactly.
But Halloween is a fucking disaster every year.
Oh, everything. And then they get like stomach aches, puke, cavities.
Yeah.
Sugar rot in their brain.
Yeah, it's all terrible. And the also the things that parents do, like I object to this whole thing of like, hey, the candy fairy is going to come along and he substitutes a toy for your candy. Do you know this phenomenon?
Ooh, that's good. I like it. Wait, but we have to buy a fucking toy.
Then you have to buy a fucking toy.
Oh, for Christ's
How about
sake.
just like, you don't need this much candy.
I'm throwing it out. Yeah, I'm bigger than you. And I'm throwing it out and go fuck yourself.
Or I'm donating it to children who need candy.
Right, yeah, exactly.
The needy children.
The children on the train coming through Mexico.
Yeah. Coming through Mexico? What?
Yeah,
where were
the
you
refugee
going just
train.
now?
Yeah.
Yeah, the refugee
train. The last
train.
thing those kids need.
Yeah,
is
they're not.
candy.
They are not looking for candy. No.
Oh God.
But we did watch It's a Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown.
Oh, awesome.
With the kids.
Yep.
And it is just so charming.
Yep.
Like that thing. It's like the animation on those things. It's
so simple.
Yes. Yeah. But so much personality in all the characters. You know who each of those characters are.
Long, weird pauses.
Yeah. Yes.
Vincent Guaraldi music.
Yes. It's so just gentle.
You can't beat it.
I was like, what? Is there anything gentle like that now that's also so like smart about like the state of, I mean, it's all adults. It's all adult humor.
Right.
But it's like the kids are cracking up too, you know?
Yeah.
They do it well. They do it really well.
Yeah, that's true.
Except for the World War I flying ace.
Really?
Those segments are the longest fucking thing you've ever seen in your life.
Really? And
yes.
weird. It's full of fat and weird and strange.
It's very that's the only thing that's like dated. You're like, oh yeah, this was made by a 60-year-old guy in 1960. Like, yeah, the World War I flying ace is not really speaking to today's children.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Which parts? Is he talking about the Kaiser, and we're all supposed to know who the Kaiser is, or something like that?
Kind of thing. Well, it's just like in Christmas with the Flamingos. No, that was my one-man show. The Christmas Charlie Brown pumpkin. Charlie.
Something. Sure.
I think that's the Christmas one.
That's one about Vietnam.
Yes. Exactly. Diddy Mao. Diddy Mao. Yeah, that's that one. It's a Russian roulette Christmas Charlie Brown.
They pull the pumpkin lids off, and one of them is.
Oh yeah. What is that? No, John Voight is sitting inside one of the pumpkins.
And John Voight is inside the pumpkin.
Is that what's going on?
Mm-hmm.
With a blindfold on.
And then Ned Beatty comes along. It's
it's a mashup.
It's a mashup.
Yeah. That is by far the most ahead of its time animated special of all time.
I couldn't wait every year for oh shit, what is that one called? Oh yeah, you're a great deliverance, Charlie Pumpkin.
Yeah, I think that's it. It's a great deliverance. I don't know. I went there with you and on all of that. I knew exactly where you were.
That's my guy.
I was like, yeah, John Voight, Ned Beatty, of course.
You know exactly what I mean.
Yeah. But Wilford Brimley, no. Where are we at?
No, we are at Wilford Brimley.
It's that time of night. We've gotten to Wilford Brimley.
Diabetes.
Okay. My new mustache is a little Wilford Brimley-ish. But okay, so the Great Pumpkin, no, it holds up. The Sopwith Camel, yeah, no, it's just very like it's Snoopy pretending to be a fighter pilot in these long sections in both the Christmas and the Halloween special, where we're just following him like bemoaning like the fate of soldiers during the First World War in like a way that's vaguely funny, but it's just weird kind of.
But they found
throws
some
off
sort
the
of
entire thing.
Oh, they found some cost-cutting way to do animation where they could fill minutes and minutes with this.
Yeah,
they're like, if we just turn the paper this way, it looks like he's doing loops.
That might be it. Yeah,
so let's do 9 loops here,
exactly.
and then another 9.
Yeah.
And then he says something, but we hide his mouth.
That's probably about it.
Yep.
But so that's fantastic. It holds up. Highly recommended.
I see.
Music recommendation.
Let's have it.
A little bit. This is very mainstream. Maybe it's not mainstream. I don't know. The Highwomen. Have you heard about this group?
No.
Brendan, do you care for real country music?
No, I don't.
Not at all. Okay. Well, then,
by real, do you mean not sounding like anything that has come out in the last 40 years?
We're talking like Chris Christopherson. We're talking like,
oh, sure, Dolly Parton, that kind of shit.
Yeah, very Dolly Parton.
Yeah, so like alt country,
real country music.
Yeah,
but this is real country music done by real country people.
Sure,
but in a way that probably would be classified as alt country now.
Yeah, so it's not the Zac Brown sound of like, hey, the fleur, the bleed.
I don't really know what that is. That's like guitar rock, basically.
It's just
a
so
drawl. Is that what it is?
It's just the Kardashians in the form of a sort of a quasi ethnic music sound.
Oh my God, that is the best name for a band I've ever heard. Kardashians in the form of a quasi-ethnic music sound.
Blue wall of.
It's
whatever.
not quite that, but it's a great record for like female vocalists. Just like their harmonies are off the charts, and they sing like songs about World War I flying aces.
Well, I'll take it.
Yeah, it's good in this context.
Oh, I see. Well, yeah,
you don't want Snoopy doing it, but you want the high
some harmony. If Woodstock had done some third above,
exactly. But then I also want to talk about Midsommar, which I saw.
I'd like to. I'll talk about that movie anytime.
Do we talk about it now, or do you do some leisure class and then we do a new segment?
Mine can wait.
Called
we talk about Midsommar for a while.
Yeah, Brendan and Jeff on Midsommar.
on a movie that came out 4 months ago.
Okay, so tell me about. There's going to be some spoils here, folks.
Yeah,
spoilers and spoils.
Skip ahead to the next section.
To the spoiled, go the spoils.
Oh, indeed.
Yeah,
you're not wrong.
Oh, see, that's a good segment.
To the spoiled, go the spoilers.
To the spoiled, go the spoilers. Something like that. Sure.
Yep.
I'm gonna work on that.
I like it.
So I saw this movie the other day.
Mm-hmm.
I've been dying to see it.
Mm-hmm.
How does it all fit together?
She laughs at her boyfriend's death.
Yeah.
There are a couple things we need to talk about because we texted about this a little bit beforehand. The first thing we need to talk about is the shade of his penis compared to the rest of his body.
Okay, see, I didn't know. I didn't know.
I saw it on the... Did you see it on the big screen?
Well, the big screen of my living room.
If you see that movie in a theater, you walk out of there being like, that guy's penis is a lot darker than the rest of his body.
Okay, let me go back on this.
Okay.
The first 20 minutes of the movie,
yep.
everyone is wearing a shade of green.
I did not notice
And I mentioned this to you. You didn't notice it.
No.
But you picked up on the 10-second shot of the guy's dork.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And you said, that's what I'm going to zero in on.
So, but after we texted about this, I said, Emily.
Yeah.
What we were
Talk
talking
to me about Midsommar, and she's like, that guy's penis.
Yeah, she has not seen Midsommar, but she has. I just have to admit this on the air.
Seen a shady penis or two?
Well, she's seen my penis.
Yeah, and your penis is a different
In fact,
shade.
I had to drop Trow in the kitchen right then and there because she was like, "Well, yours is a little darker than the rest of your body."
Yes.
And I was like, "Excuse me?"
Wait.
And she said, "Well, imagine a penis that's like the same shade as the stomach." And I was like, "What? Yes, mine.
Right.
Mine is."
Right.
And I dropped my pants
And
right in the kitchen. And she was like, "Look." And I looked.
Oh, Jesus. I don't want to know about this.
It's a little darker.
And you looked and you looked down and there's this little face going, let's party.
And his own testicles like bongo drums.
Yeah. Why did you make me look? You can picture that guy's face in your mind, can't you?
Yeah, and why the horns?
I don't know. But that is a weird looking penis.
Okay, so anyway, I derailed you.
So everyone's penis is shade darker? Is that?
Let's have a look. Let's see this thing. Well, we'll do it after the episode and then tell the other listeners. That movie really fucked me up. It was the night that Brian was having the party across town.
Yes.
And I
went to that party.
You went to that party.
Yes, and you were a bad friend. You went to see Midsommar.
I know. But why did I end up seeing Midsommar? Because I would have gone to the party.
Yeah.
Something weird happened. In any case, I almost didn't leave, and it was far away, and maybe I was going to be way too late. Or, I don't. Who knows? Whatever. It doesn't matter. So sorry, Brian.
Yes.
Brian just heard that.
Brian's
I'm sorry. I blew off your party, and I saw Midsommar instead. But
good luck.
I know. I don't know if I can live that one down. I apologize, Brian. Yeah. Was that the same? Maybe it wasn't the same night. The point is,
but if you're disappointed in Brendan about anything, call us on the Dad Jeans hotline.
Oh God, do it seriously.
It's 323-484-4383 or Dad I Dude.
Yay!
We remembered
the whole thing. Wow. So please, definitely, we could have a disappoint-tacular.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Brendan, specifically Brendan.
I live my life terrified of disappointing people.
Well,
that would be a really funny episode, actually.
Yeah, it could be a real come to Jesus moment for you.
It could, because I do need exposure therapy to disappointing people.
Yep, absolutely. It's like if I were to just like put a bag over your head and fill it with bees.
Yeah. Wait, is that what disappointment feels like?
Yeah, exactly. It does to you.
Or freedom from disappointing
That's what bees would feel like to me.
That is
Your disappointment is my hat full of bees.
She laughs at the end.
Ooh, that might be good.
Your disappointment is title. She laughs. So he's in the bear outfit.
Well, should we start? Can I start from the beginning?
Of course.
Well, I just want to know about, first of all, like her family dies in a very upsetting way.
Yeah, and it's like right off the bat.
Yeah, and that sort of flavors the whole movie, but does it?
I know, but it's also tacked onto the front. And it starts in medias res. Like he's already playing phone tag with her, and she's emailing, and her sister.
They're on the verge of breaking up.
And they're on the verge of, which I thought was great because it had that. And then she kind of ruins the whole thing and shows up, and none of his friends can stand her. But then is she the hero of this, or is he the hero?
Bjorn likes her.
Oh, he certainly does.
Bjorny, he was very excited to have her come to his
Bjorny
village.
the horny.
Yeah.
And then and then they're off to Sweden. And then there's that guy with the eyebrows who is quite fun comic relief. Like when they're all sitting on the drugs and someone in the background starts walking by and it's like, "Oh god, here's a person."
Wait, who is the guy with the eyebrows?
Another person. The one who's like the pointed eyebrows. Who is in all the movies right now. He's like having a moment in the background
the brother?
of all movies. No.
Wait, he's having a moment in the background of all
He's having
movies?
a moment as like number 4 on the call sheet in like 7 movies in a row.
Oh, you're saying one of the friends?
One of the friends.
Oh, the guy with the bland face?
Could be Bland. I see his face as far sharper than Bland because his eyebrows are pointy. They come to a point.
Right.
In the outer middle.
And he's the guy that... Was he the first to...
Was he the first?
The first to get gone?
I can't remember he's the first to get gone. What about those flayed lungs?
Ooh, yeah. It was very... art direction was impeccable in this movie.
Unbelievable. It was such a feast for the eyes.
Such a feast for the eyes. And also just like, I love the constant movement that so this movie is about it's a ritual, basically. You're like put in the middle of this like ritual in a village in Sweden.
Yep.
And it's a bunch of like anthropology majors basically are coming to this ritual in Sweden, and they're going to document it, and then they're going to write about it, and it's probably like as an academic, it's probably like there's probably a lot of laugh moments for academics.
There's some delicious laughter, even just for me, and I'm not an academic or barely one. And the anthropology entire field definitely needs to be done away with as a field. And so I loved having a bunch of anthropologists get just absolutely done.
And that's more what this movie was like a commentary on the act of looking at another culture.
Yes.
Through your own eyes and trying to like, it's like and
trying to consume it.
Yeah, it's a horror movie about imperialism.
Yeah, and consume it the way Americans consume everything.
Yes.
And so American anthropologists who went to Africa in the 1970s consumed Africa the same way the fucking oil companies did.
Yeah.
They just like mined it for degrees instead of oil.
Yes.
And so, yes, it's a delicious comment on that. By the way, Atastulpas once existed.
Oh, that's the jumping off the thing?
Yeah, the elderly being pitched off or jumping off.
See, that's the thing. Like, so this whole movie, like, first of all, I love the fact that there's just constant movement. Once they get to this village, there's always something happening in the background that is part of this, like, week-long ritual. And it's just there, and they're just, like, walking around in their dumb-looking American clothes.
A bear
surrounded
in a cage.
by all these, like, there's just a bear. Yeah, that's a bear in a cage, the guy says.
Yeah.
Like, and it's just like the way, just the whole way it's all put together is very like it carries you from scene to scene. There's just like this constant sense of momentum, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like forward motion. But just like the way I think that they go into it like so with such ignorance, and yet it's like there's nothing really that horrible about it. I mean, it is sort of horrible, but it's also like you get the feeling that like the people in the movie who are part of this culture, like this is just their culture. Like there's nothing like abnormal about any of this.
Yeah, it's sort of equivocated or something, or whatever the word would be.
Right. And it's like there's a lot of like the whole horror comes from us seeing something that is not what we would do.
Right.
And being shocked by it.
Uh-huh.
And it's not, I mean, it is pretty shocking.
Yeah.
People are getting murdered. But like...
But all these people seem to kind of agree.
Right, exactly. Like
and
that.
Genuinely, they do want this. Except when they start to off the visitors without telling them. I feel like that's where it crosses.
That's where it crosses the line. That's where it gets a little horrifying. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
But what about the kid, the weird inbred kid?
Yeah, who's just like nearby.
Like, what did was there a takeaway? Like, did you think about this movie a lot afterwards?
A lot.
And what were you trying to like put? I guess I was trying to figure out like I'm always like what's the central sort of metaphor?
Mm-hmm.
Like, does everything like sort of? I'm sorry for using this word because it's a marketing word, but does everything ladder up to like one grand theme, or was there just like with Us? Have you seen Us?
I have not seen Us.
Us is like a lot of different things happening, which I think is good too. That's sort of more the David Lynch approach, where I like there's just you could interpret it in a lot of different ways, and that's fun too.
Oh yeah, right.
But with this movie,
this felt very centrifugal.
It did, yeah. There you go, exactly. And the fact that her family like is
right
dies at the beginning, and then her like there's a lot of fire in the end. I'm trying to just
arrives untethered.
Put it all together.
Yeah,
she arrives untethered. Okay,
and she is somehow freed by that ending.
Yes.
She wanders around crying and laughing at the same time, covered in flowers.
Right.
Right. And has this entirely been about an emancipation from her grief?
Yes. Yeah, that's right. Yes, that's a great question.
And does it take things like this that would make her feel free from that grief? But could she possibly ever be free from that grief in 6 months? Definitely not.
Yeah. Probably not. But when you're put into something that absurd and like life affecting, and like now I guess she just lives in the village, like that's
she just gets subsumed into the colony or something like that,
right? And
just like lives out her days until her own Atestolpa.
Yes,
when she turns 70.
Oh, sounds lovely.
Yeah, except for the 9 murders you have to do every year.
Well, there's all that. But is it every year? Didn't they say it was like the once every 90 years ceremony?
Oh, all right, then once every 5 years?
There was something about once every 90 years. But then, no, they had the pictures of all the May Queens, so it must have been...
Yeah.
It must be something that happens regularly.
And it's... a part of it is... another major theme is contentment.
Mm-hmm.
And the contentment of all of the participants.
Yeah.
Like the genuine serenity, or serenity would be another way to put it.
Yeah.
With life and all of its trappings, and how positive they all were.
Right.
That this was truly how to do things, and yielded the
These
most
are the Americans
ease and
you're
happiness.
talking about?
No, the Swedes.
The Swedes. Okay.
They believed so fully in this,
and
it seemed to provide them so much calm and happiness,
right?
That they were it was beyond question that this was the course of action that was the only right one for them.
Sure. Yeah. They all seemed okay with it all.
Yeah.
Right.
And so much so that I mean, if it takes a little bit of mental jujitsu, to flay a stranger's lungs, for the sake of whatever the flower festival situation is or whatever, and how happy it makes your own scene, then so be it. Like maybe it speaks to the ability of a human to subscribe to kind of like the Stanford prison test experiment. The ability of America to subscribe to that much brutality for the sake of their own group or something like that, or something. There's a way in which the human brain seems capable of this.
Yes. Can we do a sidetrack really quickly on this idea of mental jujitsu?
Oh, certainly.
What I texted to you and Brian L. Perkins the other day is... I feel like the intent sort of religion or of Christianity as it is packaged and sold to us, maybe it's just evangelicalism or whatever, is sort of it helps alleviate you having to concern yourself with certain things. Like it's a very black and white, good versus evil sort of worldview.
Yeah,
in which there are rules. You don't have to like figure out where you are necessarily in certain situations because you just know.
Yeah.
Like this is what the group believes.
We figured all this out before you got here.
Exactly.
Yeah. Life isn't so excruciating. I will say, as a fucking coastal elite atheist, life after kids in my 40s is so fucking excruciating every day.
Confusing.
It's so confusing and excruciating.
Half the time. I don't know
every
breakfast.
Day.
How hard is breakfast? Breakfast is impossible every day.
And then dinner and homework is impossible.
Yes. And
everything
it just keeps
is
going.
Fucking, and then politics is impossible, and religion, and witnessing this country devolve into the ways in which the Republicans have been monetizing American stupidity for 3 decades, while we, or let's say 8 decades, while Democrats have been pretending that American stupidity is a cold we're all going to get over.
Right.
And what's to monetize there?
Or that it's just a different way of life, and we have to respect that way of life.
Yes, and by no means offend it.
No.
So yes, it's so excruciating, and religion comes along and it's like, guess what? You won't have to worry quite so much.
Here's a simple way to live. Like everything makes sense. So then along comes this Trump guy.
Yeah.
And he flies in the face of everything.
Mm-hmm.
All of these rules.
Sex with porn stars.
Yeah. That
cheats on his pregnant wives.
So now you, the evangelical, are having to do this mental jujitsu to accept this guy.
Oh, yeah.
And that's just as complicated as not having the religion.
That's a fair point. If it costs them anything. I think that the people who, particularly religious people that love Trump, are actually in all of it just for the antipathy and the feeling of having an enemy. So they actually aren't that religious.
Right.
And they don't actually follow anything doctrinal, if that's a word. What they do is they feel like they have an enemy, which is anyone who isn't on their team, and Trump also makes them feel that way. Mm-hmm. And so they don't even have to carry a one to be like, that I point that way, and that I hate that stuff over there, and then he tells me, and I hate that stuff over there too. You know what I mean? Like it's just about having an enemy.
Sure.
And it's just in slightly different clothing.
Is that the comfort in? Is that again going to the bilateral? No. What's the word we're looking for here?
Bicameral?
Bicameral, sure. The black or white sort of thinking.
Binary.
There you go. Is you're defining yourself in opposition to what you are not.
Enmity.
Okay, so there you go. So is that what's happening there? That it's that trounces any fear of death. Any like, I'm gonna go to the good place with lollipops when I die.
No,
like it's not about that.
No, it's
more about I cannot possibly define myself unless it is in opposition to something else.
Yeah,
and my religion gives me that comfort.
I'm about to say something very controversial.
Oh,
I grew up
blast me
fucking hating the Yankees.
Okay.
And
like you would strap a bomb on your chest.
I mean, I was you talked to me in late October 2003
when they come to Shermway Gardens.
Fucking
that's where the Bruins played, right?
Yes, in Shermway Gardens. Yes.
Yeah.
With Glenn Steadman and the Motorheads doing the halftime show.
Right. At Old Shermway. It's a beautiful day in Old Shermway. Down here in the Boston Commons, right next to the harbor where we threw all the Indians. I know my history.
You do quite well.
Thank you.
This enmity that I'm describing, this antipathy that people are so just want to like chug at the teat of, is so distasteful to me that my hatred of the New York Yankees has ebbed. And certainly of their fans. I used to also hate their fans, like just everything about it, just like passionately detested.
Right.
And I have that all that stuff has ebbed because I have found this kind of your side, my side beef stuff and like the joy of it to be so kind of distasteful and disturbing and toxic.
Yeah.
That I love the Boston Red Sox, and the Yankees they play in New York, I guess.
There's no fun in it. I have never found the fun in it. I don't feel like I have that competitive spirit in me. That's why I don't really care about sports that much because I'm just like.
So you didn't have like an Ohio State thing, like you fucking hated Ohio State when you were in college?
No, I didn't give a shit about Ohio State. I mean, we were like, that was our rival, I guess. But I was just like, I don't care if this team wins.
In Columbus, where I lived, when the Michigan game happened every year, cars would be turned over, like houses burnt down. It was insane.
It's a huge deal. I don't get it. I don't identify with groups, Brendan.
Yeah,
I'm just not a joiner. I'm not a joiner. If there's if groupthink is to be had out there, I am running in the opposite direction.
I salute you, my friend.
Thank you. But I mean, it doesn't always work well for me because like then I feel alone. Like I don't feel like I belong to any groups.
And then life is excruciating, and then you don't get to have that delicious religion, the opiate of the masses.
Yeah, I never have that moment of like. I mean, I guess like Arrested Development fans, maybe I can have a moment with sometimes.
You can, but you don't want to. You don't want to meet like a lifer.
You don't want to meet super fans.
Super fan. You don't want to, and you don't even want to meet like fans. Fans of anything are also unbelievably annoying.
That's true. That is true.
You want to be like, oh, I really like that, but I'm still like just a person.
Right. It's like I'm
not going to get it. I don't know, like a body piercing of Gandalf's fucking staff, or
right?
Whatever,
on your discolored penis.
Allegedly discolored.
I believe that's how Emily refers to your discolored penis as Gandalf's
the DP.
Staff.
Oh, Gandalf's staff. Yeah.
Or the Gollum when she's not not feeling it.
Yep.
Literally not feeling it. What?
Hey, no.
What is your leisure class? What do you have to recommend to our listeners?
You guys, I've discovered a new author.
Oh.
He's young.
Robespierre?
He's fresh.
Balzac?
Is that right?
Yeah.
He's got a lot to say.
Oh, do tell.
He's doing really interesting things with language.
Oh, I can't wait.
His name is
Yes.
David Foster Wallace.
Oh, how about that?
I sat on yesterday. We went to the beach. My wife and son went on a 20-minute walk.
Yep.
And I busted out Infinite Jest, which I lugged all the way to the beach, all 1,079 pages of it.
Good idea.
Which I'd never read.
I admire your tenacity.
And I just sat there and I read the first 17 pages.
Yeah.
And it was so fucking
transportive.
Excellent.
His writing is exquisite.
It's exquisite. I was reading his essays.
Yes, go ahead.
Go. No, you go. You're the writer.
I am actually, believe it or not, Brendan, I am in a second read through of Infinite Jest as we speak.
It's like our cycles are in sync.
Our cycles are in sync, which we could make this the Infinite Jest podcast actually, and I don't think anyone would be sad about that because all of our listeners have read that book several times.
Except for me, I'm the only one here who hasn't.
I can't. What am I doing, Brendan? I'm like trying to get comfortable.
What you do, and I love this about you, is every time we podcast, you seek maximum comfort on a molecular level.
I don't know why I do it. I just can't just like sit here like this.
Do I make you uncomfortable?
No, but I sat next to this guy on the plane that didn't have anything. He just the whole fucking 5-hour plane ride back from Chicago. He's just sitting there with his hands in his lap. He didn't have anything.
He wasn't watching a screen. He wasn't reading anything.
No,
just sat perfectly still.
Yes.
What was his demographic?
Maybe a 55-year-old Latino man.
Interesting.
In glasses.
So 55.
He looked like he was on his way to a conference. He had a name badge. And there was a woman in front of us who also had a name badge.
Where on the plane? Sounds like a Mormon.
Good instinct. Potentially.
So he was probably doing the Mormon thing on the inside of his head.
Maybe.
That's interesting. I admire that. Just sitting there, just
Are there Latino Mormons?
I believe so. Huh. Maybe not. There are some Jehovah's Witnesses that visit us quite often.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
How about that?
Mm-hmm. So, here's my
David Foster Wallace.
Oh yeah. So anyway, I was reading. I was flipping through. I've flipped through a couple of his books and his essays.
You're a flipper.
I'm a flipper. I'm a flipper from Flipper Flopper.
Yep.
His essays about like going to the porn awards in '96 are fucking hilarious. From Consider the Lobster. This is all great. It's just great. It's just
the
so.
Cruise is fucking fantastic.
Oh, okay. I'll check that out.
Oh my god.
Yeah, he's quite the talent. How's he doing these days?
Haven't heard much from him lately. I think he's taking a break.
Oh, okay.
Taking a break from the public eye.
Huh. A friend of mine, funnily enough, I don't know, it's Brendan Hughes, always dropping names, but this is a friend, not me.
Yes.
Taught at the same college as him.
Oh.
It struck up a couple convos, had him over for dinner.
Yeah.
And it came up that he played some tennis.
Yes.
And my friend was like, "Oh, I like a little bit of tennis."
Yeah.
And they played together. But as readers of David Foster Wallace know, he was like, all state or whatever. He was like second in the nation or something like that.
Destroyed him.
So it became very quickly embarrassing.
Yeah.
It's 2 minutes in, it was just, oh God, how long do we have to do this before we can just give up on this? Because I just like to hit it back and forth.
Right.
And then, so it was
I admire him trying.
I know. Yeah. It was pretty great.
Yeah. Let me just say, Infinite Jest is daunting only because of its size. It is not a daunting read.
Yeah, once you're in there.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, I was just flipping pages. And the paragraphs is not a paragraph break for days.
Right.
But it doesn't matter because you're just inside his whatever he's built in there.
Yes, and he knows what... I can understand why he killed himself, because he knows what every single character in every sentence of that book has been doing through the entire book at every moment. He knows what they were wearing on page 63, even though they're not even discussed on page 63. He's got the entire universe in his head. Like the way he describes things, when he starts getting into this, the Ennett house, Ennett recovery house or whatever, where like there's like a whole big thing about drug and alcohol recovery center. And there's like 20 characters, and he'll just like pepper little details in like here and there. And it's not like in one of those annoying writerly ways where it's like, there was a window facing southeast upon the quad, and if you stood just so in the room, you could see a tree on which lived a family of red-breast robins. Like, it's not that.
No, right.
It's just like
it's not omniscient.
No, it's like the most fascinating little detail you've ever heard about someone.
Out of nowhere.
For 1,000 characters. Yes.
Oh God, it's so great. Yeah, it's so full of point of view. There's a middle in the beginning where I was. It's the guy waiting for the drug connection to show up.
Yeah.
And these little details interrupt his train of thought. It's the character's train of thought. Sure. Even though it's third person, it's very much you're inside his head. And so he talks about the three sounds that his flip down alarm clock makes: the preparation, the flip, and the recovery, or something like that.
Yeah.
And that is in the middle of nothing. Like that comes and goes.
Right.
And it's because he's just sitting there and he doesn't know what to do with his brain.
Yes.
It's just exquisite.
Yeah.
So readers, listeners.
I hope you actually give yourself can that be your birthday challenge this year, to read Infinite Jest?
Yes, it certainly can.
Okay.
I think it's great. I also watched in its entirety at this point Big Little Lies.
Oh.
I think I talked about that last time
you
also.
Did.
I'm now done.
And how did you feel about it? Was it time well spent?
Yeah, isn't that a good question? Was it? I have no idea. I don't know. I know more about these fucking yuppies.
Right.
And their exquisitely tragic lives on a certain level. You know who's a very wonderful actress?
Laura Dern.
She's pretty great.
Okay.
This Meryl Streep.
I've heard good things.
She's also
I don't know. She's
very good.
She's a comer, right?
She's a comer.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's in the second season.
Okay.
And this is not my observation, but this was observed by my dear friend Alan Blagg, who was visiting from New York.
You made that name up.
It sounds that way. And you know what his Instagram handle is?
Glenn McCready.
Flack Blagg.
Oh.
Pretty good.
Look at that.
So
good.
he
is he a flack?
Pointed out. Is he a flack? Yes. No. What? Yes.
Like a government flack?
Yes. Oh, certainly.
Okay.
He I think he's a grip.
Oh.
He was pointing out that like the whole second season had to be reshot in several ways, and it was all falling apart and something or other. And he characterized the whole season as Meryl Streep shows up and is like, and he said it's kind of a whodunit. So she just walks around and she's like, "Did you done it?" And they're like, "No, I didn't done it. Did you done it?"
Right.
Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It was really, really funny. Anyway,
okay, that sounds
it is, and it's like, the inner machinations of a rich California town.
Okay.
And what's going on in first grade at pickup.
And there's a murder?
Stare at each other. And there's a murder that frames the whole thing.
Does it really frame it, or does it just kind of go away?
I will say that there's a nice bit of a twist at the end of the first. And my jaw literally actually dropped at one point. I was like, oh, they got me. They got me.
Really?
They got me. At the end of the first season.
The butler did it?
It was one of those Butler did it moments where you're like, oh, shit.
Oh, I never saw that coming.
Yeah.
The butler.
It's walking
around in the background, this whole thing.
Exactly.
Shall we move on to Spite Club?
Yes.
Okay.
Let's.
I hate you! I hate you! I hate you! Spy Club! I hate you! I hate you! I hate you! Spy Club! Fuck!
Brendan.
I'm called Brendan.
My Spite Club, in some ways, reflects upon you.
I don't blame you.
And
I'm disappointed in myself.
I hope you don't take too much offense.
Before everyone is disappointed in Brendan.
No, yes, this is we're setting the stage. This is the pre-disappointment episode.
Wouldn't it be great if all 15 listeners took you up on that and just cooked some shit up?
I love it. Just something that bugged the piss out of them about you.
Yeah,
so
and it could be on the air.
No,
could be in our private lives.
It's not bother you. It's not something that bothered you. It's a way that he
disappointed.
disappointed you.
Yeah.
Something you were expecting.
So much worse.
Zoram Shamblat, if you're listening, and you could tell us how, or maybe even just tell us how Maddie and who else? Who's his family?
Kids. Oh, damn it.
Maddie and the kids.
That's our documentary, Jeff.
Yeah, I know. If you could tell us about how Brendan has disappointed you, or anyone in your life has disappointed you, we'd love to hear from you.
Yeah.
Okay, so there are yes and people. That's
absolutely.
A thing. That's a thing that one can do.
Yeah, they sure are, Jeff.
There are no but people.
Yeah. Oh. Mm-hmm.
No. See, now you're supposed to say
no.
Yeah. There you go.
But have you considered?
Right.
Yeah.
So those are the two types of people, two types of communication. Correct. That like we think of people as being. I have a third way.
Have you considered?
Yeah. Well, that might be the third way.
Oh, I'm sorry. I stole your thunder.
Which was you. I was going to point out this is your way. It's not always your way. But on a text thread the other day, it was your way, and it got me to thinking, like, I don't like that way.
Did I annoy you?
That is the yes actually people.
Same. Did I do a yes actually?
I think what you did was you said your point is completely valid, but I'm going to make my side point that is not really dependent upon your point at all.
Oh, I broke it off into two chains.
That's right. Exactly. Yes, actually, you did.
Jeffrey, I'd like you to accept my apology.
Oh, no problem. I think a no but person is far worse than a yes actually person. You were agreeing.
Yep.
That was very nice. We were having, and you were just rolling with the ball, but sometimes you're having the conversation. I don't find that this happens actually often on this podcast. So I wouldn't say that. I'm not painting you with this brush. I'm not tarring you with this brush, Brendan. It was just a thing that made me think about a thing that people do.
Yeah.
But there's like when you want to have a conversation about one thing and the other person's like, yes, absolutely. Boom. Different thing.
And tack to
and
a
you're
whole
like,
different thing.
What about my thing I wanted to talk about?
I have I have some reactions. May I give you them?
Yes, please.
My reactions are A, Jeffrey, I owe you 107 episodes worth of apology.
It was not at all.
No, because,
not at all,
because I have a word for what you're describing.
Oh, okay.
This archetype.
Yes.
Which is derailers.
The derailers.
The derailers.
Okay.
And I, A,
yes,
don't care for derailers.
Right.
But B, derail you 50 times an episode because C, I don't know what it is. Your brain makes me so excited that I can't help it. But in my head, the entire time in every episode, I have a strand of guilt because I derail what you say and I hijack what you say all the fucking time and take you all the way out past some buoy where you can't see land anymore.
So you've disappointed
and you have to row us all the way back. Or sometimes I row us back. But I'm the one who dragged us out there. And listeners, if you're wondering if I know that I do that, I do, and I feel bad, but I'm never going to stop.
No, you shouldn't. That's the joy. I don't find that problematic at all. It's part of our relationship. It is how
you're
we
very
do
patient with me about it.
But that's what makes it fun.
Yeah, I would agree.
It's that tension. Yeah. There has to be a little tension.
Oh, sure.
In a relationship. And in a relationship in which I don't frankly feel that much tension, it is nice to create that tension through the way that we vocalize our
with
thoughts.
For the benefit of our listening audience.
For the benefit of Mr. Kite is what I believe we're doing right now.
Is that from a book or
Beatles?
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
Damn it. Oh, yeah. Oh.
But, it was
Mm-hmm.
called Being for the Benefit of Mr. Kite. What an unusual song title.
The British always have, like, noun last names. But I guess it's because it's their language.
Like Ed Begley
So
Jr.?
Every word. Ed Begley Jr.? Does anyone do that to him, do you think? Because I only just heard it that way for the first time.
Pretty good. Amazing. No, I take no offense at it, even though what I'm doing in this segment is making you the object of my spite for something that you, in fact, did like do.
Well, it says it's full.
You like that? You've never been the center of a spite club before.
No, and I like it.
How does that feel?
Feels good.
Yes, actually. The Derailers. So now I might. Let me think. If I were to hear the term derailer, would I see it in that way? Would I hear it in that way? Like derailer is almost like that's the Chaos Muppet who you claim to be.
Yep. It's when a conversation gets going, a meeting, the conversation happens. It's the one person that wants to say the thing that no one else has thought of that will stop the conversation cold and prove that we were all the rest of the group was wrong to not have considered blank. And what happens is no one can ever get a consensus because this one person has to constantly establish themselves as the like outlying thinker that will save the day is what I think they're trying to do, but they're just being a fucking asshole.
Well, maybe that's the guy. That's the guy who says my fatherly advice from a couple of weeks ago, which is, but why do we care?
Yeah, but why do? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
there's this instinct, this thing, this fucking instinct,
that they have to just shut it down somehow.
Yeah, lest the train leave the station without them.
Yeah.
Because they're so important.
I don't see you as that. That's like a power move, though.
Like
you never do it as a power move. If you were to subvert the topic of conversation, it's because you've suddenly landed on something exciting that you want to think about.
Right, and it is your brain in particular, Jeff, that ignites mine.
Interesting. I have a feeling that there are days when you're just like, I want to punch that guy in the fucking face.
Of you?
I show up with my mustache, and you're just like, what the fuck?
Fucking
this guy.
Jeff, Jesus Christ.
This guy.
This again.
Yeah.
And then Mike's heat up, and I'm like, hey, buddy.
Yeah, and you're like talking about your discolored penis.
Right away.
Your gynecomastia.
Yeah.
Do you have a spike club this week?
Puffy nipples is one of them. That's definitely a big spike club of mine.
It lingers on.
It lingers on. No, I would say, so when you go to see a play, this isn't that big a spike club.
Okay.
Did I have a bigger one? I called the advice nurse, and she made me go to urgent care, and then the doctor was like, why are you here? And I said, the advice nurse told me to come, and she was like, they always send everybody.
Wait, what's the advice nurse?
God damn it. If you have Kaiser, they give you a phone number, and it calls. It says advice nurse, and you can call, and you can be like, my nipples are puffy, and they're like, go to urgent care.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
That's just what they do for everything.
Why bother? Like, just make it a recording where you can talk into it and tell it your symptoms.
Right.
Go to urgent care. Yeah, exactly. So I went and like blew our entire Saturday night. And then Oscar gets some fucking filth disease because we're at urgent care. And today he throws up in the fucking... I think so. And it was a fucking advice nurse. Because I didn't say that because I had like two different things going on. Because I had a stomach flu and allergies. Whatever. That made me very mad.
Sounds like a bad advice nurse to me.
Here's another one, though. Yeah, bad. Exactly.
Yep.
Here's another one. You go to the theater, the live theater.
Yes.
And there'll be a sign in the lobby that's like, there'll be gunshots in this show.
Okay.
And a strobe light.
Right.
And they might as well be like, it's more the gunshots to me.
And
I'm
a gay
like,
man. That's what they should say.
Right.
In case you're like, nope, we're going home. Kids, get in the car.
What has happened to theater?
Why did that gay man come from?
Exactly. But I'm like, gunshots.
Yeah.
Okay, so why should we bother seeing this? Now we know there'll be a gun somewhere, and I'll be like, that gun's going off.
Right.
Or nudity too. You know what I mean? Like, okay, so now we know there's going to be nudity and gunshots.
Yeah.
And it might as well say, and the butler did it, and fucking Snape killed Dumbledore.
So you're saying you get too much information,
way too much
from their epilepsy warnings.
Yeah, exactly, and it should instead be like, you came to see a live performance.
Yeah.
Things will happen. Verbs.
Right.
Will be enacted in this room. Like, when you walk in this room, you're not going to sit here while nothing happens. Something's going to happen.
Are they ever like peanuts may be eaten on stage?
Exactly.
Do they say that? They
might as well.
What they should do is just pick out all the epileptics in the crowd and just go up to them and whisper and just be like, there's going to be some strobe lights.
Oh, that's a good idea.
I want you to know.
Oh, I guess strobe lights is fine.
You appear epileptic.
Right.
So I thought you should know.
I'm getting a hole. sense off of you. Getting a whiff of epilepsy.
They have epileptic sniffing dogs.
Well, they must. So they have two. Okay, they can keep it with the strobe lights, and you shouldn't use strobe lights in theater because that sounds dumb.
It's tacky.
Yeah. That's
what are you doing?
80s.
A rave scene?
Exactly.
What is this? A fucking Midsummer Night's Disco Dream
You're
or
gonna
something?
have to do like a slow motion fist fight.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
We're gonna do this adaptation of The Tempest is set in a disco. That's what this is.
Oh, kill me.
That's what you're about to see.
Kill me.
Yeah.
Oh God, don't even get me started. Yeah.
Nope.
I think that was actually done in Cambridge, Massachusetts.
I'm sure everything was set in a
horrible,
disco.
horrible. Should we do fatherly advice?
Help me, Daddy. Fatherly advice. Help me, Daddy. Fatherly advice.
Yes. We should. God, I had some great fucking fatherly advice and I forgot to write it down.
I see.
You start. You go.
Okay.
Go. Maybe your fatherly advice will inspire me to do some fatherly advice.
Look, Jeff, I'm not a man of means. I don't have money.
No.
I'm not a moneyed individual.
No.
Not well-heeled.
No.
Not, there are no diamonds on the soles of my shoes.
No, there are not. You're not Lady Smith Black Mambazo.
No.
As
certainly not.
Yeah.
I am not Lady Smith Black.
See that, Jim?
I know every single one of the not in English words on the Graceland album by heart. I can sing along to the... Did they sing in Afrikaans? That would be strange if they did.
Yeah, the language of the oppressor.
Right.
What? Sing some. Just give us a taste.
Oh God! I have to get started. Yes.
Is that it?
Yeah. I can't remember. God damn it! I'll do it next week.
Well, I'm addicted to a smooth ride. Oh no, that's the next one. Oh, maybe I'm a dog that's lost his bite.
Is that?
I don't expect to be treated like a fool no more.
There was that one.
Saints.
I hated that. It was like he was like, next continent, South Africa.
Oh my God,
get in the van, everybody.
Oh, go fuck yourself with your atom bomb. I love that record. Yep.
No, not a fan.
Okay, that's fair.
So my fatherly advice. I'm not a man of means, Jeff.
You're not. You're a poor man.
But here's what I realized recently. Why have I ever gone to the movies or into a restaurant or into a bar when I could have been ferreting my little dollar bills into the fucking stock market?
Oh, wow.
God damn it. I'm such an idiot.
Is this do we have a sponsor now?
Yes.
Oh, and it's a stock app something?
Yeah.
Wait, what? You're putting money in the stock market?
I've discovered the stock market.
Yes, that's for fools. You got to be a millionaire to make any money on the stock market.
Well, sure. I'm just buying, index funds and shit like that.
Penny stocks?
No. Oh,
no. Wolf of
I'm
Wall
not
Street?
actually doing my own. I actually am kind of into penny stocks, but I'm not doing my own trading. I'm just like buying into funds or whatever that do the trading for you, et cetera. And you can look up what funds are
How does that work for you?
It's great because then it's like it's not in my bank account. It's just gone. And then every month I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. I put that in the thing. Hey, look, there's a little more now.
Is that a better investment than a CD?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Well, depends on the fund, but you gotta because you can. There are certain.
Why doesn't everyone just buy the fund?
I think they do.
But then the fund is life. Why don't? I'm just saying the CD will never go down. The CD is the safer bet. Am I wrong?
Yes, but it's a slower boat to China.
Right. So you're getting how much are you making? How much are you investing? How much are you making?
I'm afraid that's classified.
Just
but
give me
not
a
enough.
taste.
Not enough. Not a lot.
But
today,
you'll get $20 a month.
This week I made $35.
This week you made $35,
which is nothing. You can't live on that because I'm just getting started.
Sure.
I mean, I've been doing this kind of for years, but I haven't really been. But suddenly, Warren Buffett said, "Listen to me. Listen to this guy." Anyway, he said at some point, if you can't figure out how to make money while you sleep, you'll work until you die.
Oh Jesus, this guy, he's giving away all his fortune after he dies. Why don't you give it away now, you fucking idiot?
He drives a station wagon and lives in a regular house in Wisconsin.
Then get rid of all that money that you don't need and save the fucking planet, which needs saving now.
The way Robert
Not
Downey
in
Jr.
30
is.
years.
That's a fair point.
Ugh.
Yeah. I hear you. I'm not into the wealthy. I'm not into wealth. It's like all of it. I'm just
horrible. I'm not charmed by this guy's act.
Mm-hmm.
I live in a nothing house, but I'm just so fucking mentally fucked up that I have to have billions of dollars.
I like it. I like this, Jeff.
What's wrong with you?
Yeah, no, horrible.
Horrible person. I eat Campbell's soup for dinner every night. Yeah, well, yeah, you know what? You shouldn't. You got the money. Eat a fucking lobster every single goddamn night. Be like, you know what? You know who? Why am I blanking on his name? Citizen Kane. Marlon Brando. No.
Oh, Orson Welles.
Orson Welles. He ate 3 steaks for dinner every night.
Did he really?
Yes.
Is that why he was a house?
Yes.
By the end?
And drank like a chimney and smoked like a fish.
That guy.
Okay, so but tell me about your investing strategy. So
I found this one website in particular that that has a bunch of different funds that you can compare and contrast.
Okay.
And see how they've done over the last year, and some are more aggressive than others, and you figure this out, and they have certain buy-in levels and all this kind of stuff.
How do you know you're not investing in blood diamonds?
Oh, I have no idea.
You don't know what's in that fund.
No
but
clue.
you could potentially invest in a green fund or something, right?
You could do all that.
Exists?
Sure, I could do all that kind of stuff.
That's what I'm kind of interested in.
Oh, where you
betting
have a conscience
on my
with this
future.
stuff?
Yeah, just like putting money into something that I believe in and thinking that, I mean, we have to fucking save the planet or we're going to be dead. So
none of this will matter.
Yeah. I was thinking about that movie Snowpiercer. They're doing a TV show, Snowpiercer? Snowpiercer. Did you see that movie?
I did see it.
It's all about the 1% on this train.
Yeah.
Right?
Ed Harris in the front.
But then there's a bunch of poor people in the back.
Yep, eating the gelatinous cockroaches.
But why do you need money if there's no civilization?
Right.
The whole premise of this movie
is odd.
It's a little flawed.
A little flimsy.
It's a little flimsy.
Yeah. That was all the rage, and I remember watching and being like, this is a little on the nose, everybody.
Yes.
A little ham-fisted.
A little ham-fisted.
And it came from a comic book. Right. And so I think it's deep for 14-year-olds.
Yeah, and it's absurdist. I liked that it was a little strange and silly. It's a little campy, right? That movie,
right? And where was it going? Why did it keep going somewhere?
Why did the train? Well, because it's a pure metaphor.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
all this movie is a metaphor.
Yep, exactly.
I like that you're investing in the stock market. Should I?
Yeah,
I did this work for this company called Synchrony. They're they started with a private label credit cards. They your Eddie Bauer card would actually be a Synchrony card. They're like the bank that finances it. But then they started a consumer bank, and you can put your money in a savings account there, and it's a high interest, high yield savings account, and there's no penalty. You can withdraw it. You use it just like a regular old savings account.
Really?
But the rates are through the roof. They're insane. It's 16% or something like that. Incredible.
What?
Can't be 16%.
That is a Ponzi scheme, my friend.
That sounds way too high. It can't be 16%, but it's quite high. No, it's a real. I mean, it's a legit financial organization.
Well, that's great because then they are outside. Whoever runs that organization will be murdered by the other bankers.
Is?
Who?
It's
Sonny's Fire
Connection.
Festival.
Sonny's Connection.
Shut the fuck up.
No.
Are you serious?
Runs Synchrony Bank.
You're not serious.
No, I'm not.
Okay,
but it's a real. No, it's a real.
Definitely a Ponzi scheme.
No. Look up Synchrony. They're a very reputable firm.
Not because of you, Sonny, but because of the whole. Who?
The Who did it. Who did it? The Who did it. That's right. Yes. Who did it? Who did it?
Who done it? They've never done an album called "Done It."
Oh man, missing out.
With them in trench coats.
What is my fatherly advice for this week? What was your advice on the stocks? Just buy them.
Get in there, yeah. Get that compound interest. Yeah, exactly. Because what the fuck? Because
what are you doing with your time otherwise?
Well, this is what I started thinking. I was like, I edit the videos or whatever. I hold myself. I could be a person who has to go and make money every time I make money. And I have to be like, I'm an editor, so will you pay me to spend time of my life that hastens my death doing this thing?
Sure.
Or I could think about work completely differently, you know,
Yeah.
and be like, money. I just have to like I should have spent my 20s being like, fuck everything, get a bunch of money, and then put it in a thing.
That's fatherly
and then
advice.
it yields it all, and then
figure
and
that
then
shit
you just
out
work
in
in the
your 20s.
bicycle kitchen or whatever the fuck.
But you know what happened with Sarah is she lost like $50,000 on a 401k when the stock market crashed. So
it's
like all that time
machine
spent
start right after 2008.
I guess.
Put it in the mattress. Wait for the next crash. Right after the crash, get in there.
We're headed for a crash, my brother.
So I should get
this
it all
WeWork,
out. Put it
this
in a
WeWork
mattress.
is the tip of the iceberg.
Really?
Yeah, of course.
I should get it all
it's
back
all
out.
Fucking fake money.
Oh, I know. It's not even money. It's number. It's like numbers. It's algorithms.
I don't know if you hang onto the paper. I don't even know what happens. Like after this, like what when the tech bubble crashes, you know?
Yeah.
When Uber and WeWork and Facebook and all these fucking
and the
things
gig economy and all.
go hand over fist, barreling into the ocean. We're gonna need Elizabeth Warren to dig us out.
Shit, man.
What do you think about Bernie rebounding? Are you still secretly like sort of hoping for Bernie? Like you kind of gave up on him because you were like, he's not going to make it.
Yeah,
I mean, are your feelings complicated?
I would be thrilled. I've always loved that guy. It's different because the field. He isn't the only sane voice now. Like,
yes.
In 2016, he remains the only politician who's ever said something that I actually believe.
Right.
I always had to speak of mental jujitsu.
And he clearly believes as well. He's not. He's
like the genuine article.
Yeah.
And he
still is that. I find him quite refreshing to listen to.
Oh, he's great. And he everything he said, I was like, yes, I totally believe that. I feel so betrayed by the OK boomers because they don't like Bernie Sanders, and he's like the deliverance of everything they've been saying my entire life.
They claim to want.
Right. They claim to want.
Yeah.
Okay, boomers.
Yeah.
So that really fucking got my goat about them. But any case, now we got Elizabeth Warren, and had she run last time, and had she not met with Hillary Clinton, and Hillary Clinton didn't be a shame if anything happened to your husband, or where the fuck. I'm just kidding. Kidding, everybody.
Sure.
Just kidding. I'm not one of those Hillary haters.
Let's not talk about it.
But I am a centrist hater.
Yeah.
And that's what Fight Club was. The fucking person, Trump mole who's writing headlines at the New York Times. Okay, back to where we were.
Oh, God. Oh, it's painful.
The New York Times is so far up the Trump administration's ass.
I don't know what is that?
It's the weirdest thing.
Is it a fluke? Is it real? Is it
because they pretend to not have opinions.
Crazy.
They walk around the gray lady and they're like, we don't have opinions. We just reflect what's happening.
We are the news.
So therefore, the Republicans move the middle so far to the right that the New York Times is now literally Fox News.
Right. Yeah.
And it's amazing. And then they infiltrate from the inside and they have someone writing their headlines that is such a devout loser centrist that anyone who fucking reads that rag is their reporting is wonderful.
Sure.
But their headlines are abysmal.
Yes, I agree. And but it's also like who are you appealing to out there? Like,
exactly.
What's the audience for that?
Exactly.
You're not getting a bunch of fucking Trumpkins reading the New York Times.
No, it's Princeton graduates. That's it.
Yeah. Right.
But for whom the middle class is working out just fine.
Okay, but let's rewind things and say that that's actually a good percentage of Trump's voters. His base is not necessarily
the hilt crowd.
Yeah.
It's like rich people.
Rich people, who are very happy that he's
happy with how
giving them more money.
Yep.
For now, until the stock market crashes. I don't have any fatherly advice this week. I feel like we've done our share.
Mm-hmm,
we've done our time. We've spent our time.
Yeah, I'd say.
I want to prepare more for our next episode.
Oh, okay.
I have just notes. I have things mental Post-it notes all over the place in my brain that I haven't organized, that I'm just Spike Club. Oh, that's a good one. And I'll write it down and then it'll disappear into the ether of something.
Do you have a notes app on your phone? You could have the dad jeans note.
I do, and I do that. And actually that's a good idea to have one note for it. I tend to add it to whatever. I'll just put it in a new note and there's just
go back to that dad jeans note. Make it sticky. Stick it to the top.
Dad jeans note. Stick it to the top. Done.
And that goes for you too, listeners.
Good fatherly advice.
Thanks, buddy.
Yeah, listeners, get your dad jeans note, stick it to the top.
That's a good thing to go out on.
Okay. Good night.
Good night.